And Mr. Chapman, you just brought up a sore spot. I know Ken wants this question asked. He asked me to ask this last week, and I forgot. Is George Soros wanted for his criminal activity in Austria or in Paris?
No, he's not. They brought civil charges against him, not criminal charges.
Okay.
And he paid very large fines. And the reason governments do that is because they're more interested in getting the money than they are putting people in jail, especially people who are the top rung of the Illuminati. I'll give you another one. Last week, Warren Buffett's firm, which is Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, committed a $200 million accounting fraud. They paid a $100 million fine and walked away. So crime pays in America if, and in Paris and in Hungary as well, if you're wealthy and they can get a fine out of you and you're connected. Both of them are connected at the top. They both belong to the Illuminati, and that's why you see some, 18-year-old minority kid who's got too much hash with him do 10 years in prison. They fill the prisons up with these kids. They're breaking the law, I know that. But I'm trying to make a comparison here. And what does the kid got? $300 worth of hash, and Warren and his buddies just stole $100 million. Give me a break.
Yeah, you got that right. Understood. I was going through here the list, and Mr. Chapman, the world is basically on pins and needles about what's going on around the world. 1 in 5 mortgages are underwater. China has come forth and asked, basically, I shouldn't say asked, they've given out the orders to their banks to retreat from all risky investments. Have you heard anything about the way the Chinese managers are being ordered to vest the massive currency reserves and withdraw from the risky dollar assets in the United States?
Well, they are not increasing their position in American federal securities, such as treasuries and agencies, but they're maintaining what they've got because they don't want the United States to go bankrupt, and then they won't have much of anything. The Chinese. Chinese are buying natural resources all over the world. That's what they're doing. And they're buying gold. And I don't know how much gold they're buying in the international market because they don't tell you. And I know, well, I don't know for sure, but I suspect for sure that they're buying all domestic gold production. But they are trying to get out of dollars as much as they can, and it's very difficult to do. And they are going towards better paper. And in spite of what the Chinese guy said yesterday, they're not buying agencies. They just sold them all. All they own is U.S. Treasuries, and most of them are 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, and that's it. And so they're buying all short-term paper, and that's why you see in the indirect sales of treasuries this week, 57% over 5.7 bids times what was available, and that's the Chinese and others just trying to stay in neutral with their dollars. The problems are monstrous. I mean, if you people knew what I knew, you'd freak out. I mean, if you think what I'm telling you is bad, it's 10 times worse. It's just a lot more complicated on this kind of a program to explain to people.
Do you have any, from a personal perspective, do you feel that people should pack up and get out of the cities and sell their homes and move into the country and network with others of like kind?
That's a good idea if you can do that. But, most everybody's got to work. And, I think the price of gasoline is going to continue to go higher, so that's a factor. So if you live in City A and you want to move 60 miles away into the country, and you got to go back and forth to work, that's not such a hot deal. I mean, look at the people in L.A. where it's overpopulated. I mean, it used to be you could go from Malibu to downtown at, say, 6 o'clock in the morning and never see another car. And it would take you, the way I drive, 25 minutes. and I always had hot cars, and I like to drive fast. But anyway, and I still do, incidentally. And nowadays, at 6 o'clock in the morning, it's a 2-hour drive. And what is it, 8 or 10 miles? And so those are things you got to think about. And, you got a family, and you're going to have to pull your kids out of school and put them in another school or self-school them. There's a whole bunch of factors. It's easier if you're retired. Then you don't have to, all of that stuff doesn't come into play. And that allows you also not only to go out in the country, you might want to move to Panama or Venezuela or Mexico or Central America or Australia or whatever.
Well, I have another comment, but I got a question. I got a statement here, and with a statement question. Mr. Chapman, David Bloom is quoted as saying, quote, "We don't think the dollar rally is going to last much longer beyond the first quarter because we're in a new world of rotating sovereign crisis where politics matters again. It's Greece today, but it could be the United Kingdom tomorrow, and the U.S., which has yet to take any steps at all to tackle its physical deficit, could be day after tomorrow, but it would continue for a full week." What do you think this man is saying, who is the head of the currencies at the HSBC?
Well, I don't know David Bloom, but everything he has said is absolutely correct. I said that at the beginning of the program. We're going to have sovereign debt problems, and there's going to be a meeting down the line. And there's going to be all kinds of devaluations and default. And that's why you don't want to own bonds or shares in currencies that are going to have a problem. The only exception to that is Switzerland, Canada, Norway, and Australia, which would be the best currencies because they produce natural resources. And Switzerland's a special case. And so that's, if you're going to be in currencies, that's where you're going to be. Otherwise, everything in gold and silver. And that's where I got my money. And I buy gold and silver every 2 or 3 weeks. When I can find it.
A last question, just a yes or no answer. We got to go. Mr. Chapman, do you recommend anybody buying a foreclosed house even if we can pick it up at 30% below market value?
No. You're going to do better later. Just keep on renting and don't go into the real estate business. Just don't do it.
Can you give us an idea how long to wait?
At least 3 years.
Okay. All right, and I hope you'll be with us next week. Well, I pray you'll be with us next week, and I want to ask you a quick question for your wife. Is Judy playing golf again? Better?
She sure is, and she's playing very well, and I'm playing terrible. It's like I play like I'm 105 years old, but you run in cycles.
And Judy's playing like she's 25?
Yeah, she looks 25 too.
Oh, good. Outstanding. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, this is Bob Chapman, the Nashcaster. Bob, thank you very much, and God bless you and Judy for all that you do.
See you next week, and thanks, everybody, for listening. Bye-bye.